Welcome to another Holistic Aquafarm video. Today we are visiting a friend of mine. They showed me their kitchen garden setup and I was blown away and I was amazed at their ingenuity and creativity. So I'm going to let them take over today and they're going to show us around with what they did and how they use their space. So stay tuned. So welcome to the Charles family. This is our little kitchen garden.
Experimental hydroponic system.
All right.
It's not a kitchen.
Not a kitchen garden.
We started, we do an experiment, but at the same time we started to grow our things more or less that we could cut off certain things.
What inspired you all to actually start doing this? What was the start? What was the
driving force?
The driving force? Yes.
The driving force was when we decided we want to go into planting commercially.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
We decided we had to jump out and start a plant. We had to learn, we had to experiment,
You had to see
things
pros
and
and
see
cons.
what it's doing.
And again, people do not teach you everything. They teach it to a point.
Why would you say that?
Why do I say that? Because farmers will tell you up front,
Yeah, they're
not
not
sharing
teaching.
our secrets. So
Yeah,
for
but-
us, I one who like I go to, she will tell you, where I see your plants performing. Hey, where does use for your plants? Why? What? I just use this and you catch them and talk, and you need to know to understand the lingo, and people would start to share back with you.
Right. So did you all do any training courses and stuff to get?
So we started doing a course. It was a 6 week course.
Yeah.
And this is how this kind of thrived. It was in more driving force because, as you can see, in front of our yard, we don't have no kind of
space.
space.
No
One,
space.
we don't
Yeah.
have land to plant.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
tile or concrete jungle, as the people are say.
Yeah.
And we decided what? We love planting. Let me take this thing to something bigger that we can do something different.
This right here is really what I am interested in, but we'll get to that. If you can't tell, these guys are planting on top their roof.
Right. These were heat masters. We had a little problem with the little bit of rain that we got the other day.
Yeah.
And we started to get fungus and it stopped producing. Again, we was going to take it out. And I said, let me see, I gave some soap water. Literally gave it soap water. And the fungus started to dry up.
So would you say then that you all try to stay more to natural homemade remedies?
Yes, we did try that.
Yes.
But it only works for so far.
So you all basically have your entire market good needs covered, you'll say, maybe about 50% covered in
Yeah,
this little
about
space?
Yeah. About that. Though even a little much more because since we start planting, I try not to go too much in the market, try to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So obviously we know what we put in our food. We don't use a lot of harsh chemicals, it's just more organic based stuff and pretty plants.
How long have you all been doing it like this?
About a year and a half.
Okay, so fairly recent.
Yeah. And we got plenty licks.
And plenty and we give away some.
Yeah. You have to figure out what they want. You need to know the balance. And asking questions, trying, going on YouTube, searching. Look at a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of them are what I like to call altered because you would see they're doing this and doing that, but when you really start it, the performance of the plants would be totally different.
Right.
Yes.
I agree with you because a lot of times too, I would say, even when you do a course and you learn stuff, but it's only when you get your hands in the dirt, when you get your feet wet, as they would say, is when you realize the real trials and tribulations that you face. Because the course will teach you this is what you're supposed to do, but when you go home and you're growing in your conditions, in your environment, it's not a perfect world, and you face sometimes out different things completely that you didn't learn.
And like what you said, now hear this. This system here, when we started it, the reason why it's there is because the guy said, oh, you don't need much sun. And that was licks. Because we had all these plants over there and they started to get lengthy, not getting the proper sun.
Correct.
Everything needs sun.
Yeah,
No
and
matter
that
what you
when they'll start growing long and thin, that's what they call etiolation.
Right. So, and we just tried something different.
Yeah,
And then we started to see the performance.
right.
These, they're getting enough sun. They don't like too much. Well, especially when they start to throw the fruit. You have to try and hide that fruit from the sun because the plant will actually start to get fungus. people don't know that. And we saw it for ourselves. If the sun started hit the fruit just turn color. It would get darker in color, like sunburn. And then that part, if you're going groceries, we started to observe when we go into groceries. The first part I would head for is the produce section. And start to look and start to wonder and start to do what and why and where and how we can change, what we can do to fix. Right? So for this, like people are going in the market, in the supermarkets, and they will buy these cauliflower. It have a little brown spot on it.
Yeah.
That is not healthy to eat. That is actually fungus. The sun causes that. It will discolor the fruit, and then it would start to change.
So therefore, then that means you'll blanch the cauliflowers when they start to produce the heads?
Yes, we do.
Excellent.
Yes, we do.
So you'll produce nice white cauliflower heads.
Yes.
Very nice.
The people come and say, "Well, I'm in a room." I say, "You're in a room?" I say, "I am a room." And look what I do in here.
This is the first thing we put out in the hydro. And then we realized there wasn't enough sun. We realized sun will hit the first stove, but not the ones in the back. Right now we have here empty.
Right.
Alright? And we say, alright, we wanted to extend, and then we end up on the fence. We brought a lot of plants here, top and bottom. But some of the things we noticed here, when the nutrients were leaking from here into here get a double portion of the nutrients.
Right.
So at times we would have a look off here to make sure here, but in the end, they didn't have the same top and bottom. But the plants were still surviving, and we produced a lot of things in the bottom here. And this is how the system actually, we extended from here, and then we went up.
On the roof?
Right here. We started
Right here. We just went right here because we wanted to do so much more, but again, we spaced.
But what would be a typical maintenance routine day for you all be? What would that look like?
Well, first to begin with, the system is an automated system.
Okay.
So we don't have to be always wetting. The only time we do any kind of maintenance is on Wednesdays and Sundays. We do spraying, we go with pesticide and stuff. We try to go in there, make sure we harvest if there's things to harvest, and then we edit our treatments and make sure everything going good.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you guys in your system,
For me,
with your setup?
I give myself my own challenge.
So then you all create your own challenges then?
Of course.
Okay.
You need to.
It's a yeah, well,
All right.
You need to, because
This is why this is the what do you call it, the experiment?
experimental.
All right. Can you share what would you say was the most memorable experience you all have had?
We started reaping here.
Harvesting.
When we started reaping.
Always the best part, right?
That's part. When you realize you plant your first crop and I say, hey, come. Because you ain't too sure what's going to happen. Every day watching the plants.
Sometimes you start
from
a
week
little,
to week,
you have a little thing home in your yard, you're growing a little tree. You might get one pepper, you say, one pepper alone, boy. But when you start reaping abundance, you're just reaping, it feels nice. It feels real nice. And actually seeing whatever is happening before your eyes. Yeah.
Now, given the space you all are working with, what advice would you give to anyone who says they would like to plant stuff and like to have a kitchen garden, but I just don't have enough space? I know you're all going to be very passionate about that.
The space is not a problem. The thing is, you have to stay consistent. A lot of people have passed, we have passed a lot of houses. And people who start the hydroponic system, you see it pushed to the side. And again, the lack of teaching.
Just people who don't have much space
Right.
and they could implement something like this. A lot of you big as
If you don't want to do it,
a little gallery.
Yeah.
You put a little hydro system, you can grow 25 plants there normal.
Have you all noticed any differences with growing stuff on the roof versus
Bottom.
growing it lower down?
Right.
Yes.
So because we have a system that is the whole system operates under one timer and everything. We find that because it's up, plenty sun, the weather, this cause the cocoa peat and the perlite that it dry out faster.
Right.
The plants will be under more stress on top than in the bottom.
Okay.
And some of the things that we have experienced even in this week, when the watering system, we have to put it on for 2 minutes rather than a minute.
Okay.
The bottom plants get too much water or too much nutrients to correct it, and then it will cause a lot of fungus. So right now, if you look, we have on the third row, we had a lot of fungus and a lot of plants we have to throw away this week because you're seeing where the fungus growing.
Okay.
But the plus with growing in the pipes, if the fungus would just remain on one, if it's on one system, it would just be on one pipe. But
Right. Okay. Less risk of it spreading.
Spread
Right.
to the
Okay.
next length.
For me, before I did anything, I always think about what I wanted to do and what I was going to do. So like, that's why these tomatoes are hanging. I am not a trellis man to come out and pull thing. I not on that.
Right, so you allow the tomato to do what it will naturally do and work with it instead of fighting it.
Yes.
Very nice. What would you say has been the most memorable experience that you all have had growing like this?
For me, when people come and actually start admiring things, and they would say, "Well, you doing this? And you doing that?" And we could actually cut and give away. And they would come back and say, "Well, yeah." We give one lady, because we don't use much pesticides and stuff. Again, we might be using it, but we're using light stuff. We're using it as minimal as possible. And people will say, "Yeah, this thing tastes different." When you start to do it, you recognize when people understanding what they're doing.
Right.
So when you're doing something, do it good. As she would say, when you're giving something, give the best. When you're doing something, do it good. Learn it, because this is a skill. If you master it, you can teach others. It can pay you. This is my system here. I cut my pipe, and I made a little pipe to fill the barrels when they're empty. That's my reservoirs there. Yeah. So this is the system. This is the pump.
You all made the space work, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So guys, this is literally on top of their roof.
So let's if you don't believe, I show you the rooftop. Just if you don't believe, there's my dragon fruit over there as you see it. This is my rooftop, literal rooftop. And you see, we seeing a wetting happening here. We seeing wetting. Corn is over there. Pull zucchinis from that. So you see now our system is wetting. This is my cauliflower. And they are wetting. Right. They are wetting. So everybody is getting water. This is the kale. Sweet peppers over there. Everybody's getting their business. Any questions? Or you can reach out to Anissa and she'll get them back to me. If you want to ask away your questions, we can talk.